plus seconds. Hi, welcome. I am actually here with two amazing women, Anita and Sunita. And as you can see, they are twins and they're actually clients of mine, or they enrolled actually in a course. You bought a course. And I would love for you to present yourself. So who you are, who you help, and what you do.
Okay. I'm Sunita. I'm Sunita Joe, Outcomes and Cats. Wow, I'm a spiritual wellness therapist. I'm also an eclectic therapist, so I do like complementary therapies. But I'm also a creative design consultant, and I deal with music and video. And I help business professionals who are looking to use video in their life, in their business, and also with Canva learners and enthusiasts as well. So basically, I help them to go through a video creation using Canva and Colors a webinar with me, and I take them through how they can create videos to create an online presence, to engage with their clients, and without fuss, and they don't have to have too much tech knowledge, so they become really confident in what they do.
That is amazing.
And I'm Anita, I'm with Outcomes and Cats, and I'm her twin sister, if you hadn't guessed. But I'm also a law of attraction master coach for female professionals. I'm also a professional spiritual wellness declutterator and feng shui consultant. So I help women attract abundance and prosperity while harmonizing their mind, body, business, and home.
I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so glad that you wanted to join. And I said when we started this, recorded this session, I didn't know that you were twins in the beginning. And when I saw both of you, I was just like, oh, I didn't get. And you look so alike, and I can't tell you apart. So thank you for the presentation. And the reason why I wanted to kind of talk with you about this, because you do kind of two very different things if we look at what you work with and compare to what I do. And you work with, of course, entrepreneurs as we do, and people that might be kind of stuck in either tech or stuck in the mindset. And that is why I wanted to invite you, because I think that is important, because one of the reasons why people struggle with doing events is mindset block of different kind. I can't do it. I'm not a pro or whatever. And you have been running some events, right? Well, yeah. What kind of events have you been running?
So for me, I did first run an event back in 2018. And, you know, I'd listened to certain coaches, did this, did that. But it was so overwhelming because this was only for one webinar. And they were like, you had to create 100 and something slides. You had to do this. The words have to be like this, not like that. You have to look at so many different aspects of just running a webinar. And by the time I got it all together and did it, I was so exhausted. Plus they always kept pushing that you had to keep running ads and had to keep paying for things. So there was no such thing as having anything organic, no organic reach or anything like that. So I was constantly watching how many people were buying, you know, were tapping into registering for my event, and how far the money would go for the ads. Because of that that experience, it put me off completely for ages. And I did think over time, like, oh, shall I, shan't I? And it wasn't until Sunny introduced me to you, Angela. Then I went, oh, this is a different way of doing things. And I was like, wow. And nobody ever mentioned before, like, you can do a 3-day event, 5-day event, 7-day event. Yeah. The setup for the events and how you would sell and how you would approach, you know, the advertising in an organic manner. I mean, we've heard a lot of different things and we follow a lot of different things, but this is different. And like you say, like, there's no fluff. It's straight to the point. Yeah, there's no like going round houses to find out how to do things. It's step by step. It's very direct. And we also bought the sprint course as well, and it was like, oh, okay. And everything again was formatted per module until you get to the end and you're like, oh yeah, the sales part. So we didn't really have an issue about selling, but there's also a way of doing it, you know, and keeping things simple and clear. So it wasn't like, you know, we're going to just spring it on them. We always say, like, you know, oh yes, and you know, there's going to be an offering, I'm going to offer you something, you know, if you want it, kind of thing. And it's no hard sell. It's very like, if you want it, great, because then you'll know if they're coachable and this, that, and the other. So now what happened was, after we did your Cold to Soul and a couple of other events that you were running, I decided to run the 7 Laws of Attraction event. And I've run that 3 times now. And on the third one, first it was really slow, right? Because people won't get, you know, this was for female professionals, and I don't think they were getting it, or everyone knew about law of attraction, but didn't realize there were 7 laws within that. And it was okay. And the organic reach was very hit and miss the first time round. But I used the first time, even though it had low registrants, I used the first time as practice as well, because even though I had like 4 or 5 online or whatever, I was like, oh, if anything goes wrong, I did a practice one beforehand, but if anything went wrong, it's okay, because they'll get a replay anyway, and that's fine. Then the second time, again, this is all organic as well, no paid ads. The second time, more registrants. The third time, even better. And I was at a flow when I was presenting, and it was like, yeah, and this is how it is, and this is great. And I wasn't overthinking things. It was like, oh yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I can do this now. This is, yeah, why did I do this ages ago? You know, and then, but now I'm doing a new one, different subject, which is the second thing of what I do. And it's, and I, as a professional spiritual wellness decluttering and potential consultant, I was hearing that women needed this, and it's to do with letting go of the past, being in the present, attachment to things, to attachment to people, how to deal with it, how to deal with them in their present, and moving forwards, and how to cut ties, you know, because I've been in that situation. I've been, you know, I've used my story again in order to do that. And yeah, so I've been advertising that again, organic reach, and this one has just registered. I was like, what? How?
And it's still going.
And it's still going, yeah. And we start on Monday, and it's still, yeah.
I mean, first of all, congratulations, number one, for the amazing organic reach. And I think this is so important, because unfortunately, a lot of people give up, right? And when you run your first thing, you are kind of scared. It's your first time. You might have a lot of notes, and you feel kind of awkward, and it doesn't convert that well. And you might not be the best one in doing lead generation, and it might be that you're not consistent, all those kind of things. And you feel like, yeah, this didn't work out for me, so I'm not going to do it again. That is unfortunately where a lot of people, but you just kept on going. And I said to you, because you have joined some of my free, I keep an eye on you, because I have you on Facebook, right? So I see when you're promoting, and you just keep on going. Do you feel like that has been what have kind of created the now boom thing that you have for the new one, that you didn't you just kept on going, even if the first one didn't work out?
Yeah, I mean, it was consistency. Like you said, Angela, when we were on your event, you were like, consistent, you have to be consistent. And we found that even before, years before, we weren't always being consistent. If it didn't happen, we wouldn't plug it again. We would just let it go. Let's get into the next thing. Let's go to the next thing. But this time we've been plugging it, and we've also done the lives. I do Whimsical Wednesday.
I do Magical Mayhem Monday.
So we talk about the topics that we coach, that we cover in our events and things like that, and everyone's like, oh right. And we found that the evenings are so much better than the mornings and the afternoon. So we've done test runs, you know, we've done the morning, afternoon, evening, and we found a lot of our, we call them kittens because they're on our Facebook page. We found a lot of them interacting with us in the evening. Oh hi, yeah, and they'll ask us questions and talk to us, and oh great, you know, it's been great to see you, blah blah blah. So, and it's like
so like I do the video creation you know, using camera and colors, and I reach out to the business professionals and the Canva learners and the enthusiasts, and that went absolutely crazy. In the first session that I put together, it went crazy with the numbers, and I went, how on earth? But then I realized, you know, there's so many people that don't know how to use video. They don't know how to use Canva. So from that, I did it twice, that one twice. And then I decided to do just the Canva basics and Canva Pro. And there were people going, oh my gosh, this is great, because we don't know the basics. So when they knew the basic, they went into the Pro. And then after that, I'm doing, oh my gosh, so I'm doing the video creation using Canva and Colours again, starting in May, on May the 15th. But then I'm doing a spiritual one as well, because everyone's connected me spiritually. So it's like, be a warrior, not a warrior. So that's happening in June. So we've just been like going on and on.
And we're using all our tools and our knowledge, and, you know, we're getting people to understand what we do, who we are and stuff. And it's like starting again, because even though there are some that know what we're doing, what we've been doing in the past, a lot of our business has evolved. And it's just that now it's like we're very streamlined. We're like, we know what we want, we know what we're doing, we know what we need to go for.
This has been great. It's been great. It's been so easy in a sense of knowing what we need to do, getting things done, you know, and going, right, okay, well, these are the dates and this is what we're doing. You know, it's like, okay.
But we also believe, like, because there's two of us as well, if people are struggling, they should get an accountability partner or even a coach, whatever way, because it's so handy, because I can talk to Sunny and she can talk to me. If I get registrants through, I get really excited, right? And then I pass my energy to her and I go, Sunny, I've got another one. She's like, oh my God, this is great, you know, and we're sort of like bouncing off each other.
Yeah.
And if I have an idea and I'll put it forwards and I'll say to Sunny, what do you think? And then we'll ask out to others, you know, I'm doing this, you know, how do you feel about this, blah, blah. And even some of our friends who've been following us and have had therapists with us and stuff like that, they want to do our events as well, you know, and some of them have invested in us and we're like, wow, okay, great. But I think that having somebody else with you, it's a lot easier. It's an easier journey. And also, like, if you have your highs and your lows, at least you can talk to somebody else and they'll get you out of that rut and out of you thinking that you can't do it. Because it's like, yeah, we'll just keep going. Because that's what we keep saying to each other. Just keep going with it. Let's see how we go and just run it. It's like,
I think that is, yes, I think you have a really good point there when it comes to both that people give up, but maybe they run it and it didn't work out and they have no one to talk to, because as you said, we all have our ups and we have our low, right? Mm-hmm. And either having a community, a coach, or like you have each other, and that is really good. And you do so different things, which means you can kind of work together, because you have kind of different kind of things that you are working on and different kind of blocks that you go through, right? Different kind of struggles. And I think that is a really good point. And I think that is one of the keys to your success, is that you have each other, because then you can push each other moving forward. If we might not have a coach or an accountability partner or someone that is there and listen, because sometimes we might not need advice. Sometimes we just need someone to listen because we're so fed up with something, or something didn't work out or whatever. We just need to get it out of our system and then we can move on. And I think that is a really important aspect of it, because you enrolled in a course, so you have each other and you have access to all the modules that we update consistently, adding or removing stuff, as you have seen. As soon as I learn something and we try something and I'm just like, whoa, this I need to add, or this actually worked better, I am in updating, right? Because I believe that, as you said, we are evolving as people, market, mindset, the world, whatever, and we need to be up to date. And that is why I think you are so successful as well, because the two-way communication that you have with the audience, because you run these live, yes? You run live workshops, and you run more strategic or more kind of the Canva, you show them and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's great. Yeah,
more interactive that way.
absolutely.
And mindset.
I love
It's so fun that you do so two different things.
Sorry, but what we also do as well, we make that time that I jump on her webinar and she jumps on my webinar. So we know we can give each other feedback. And if anything goes wrong.
Yeah. So I've had technical issues at one time. Anita was there, she stepped in.
But because I've done it before, I knew how to deal with stuff. So I said
that was my first time, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I said, Sunny, don't worry. You do whatever and I'll sort out the rest. Yeah. You just carry on, I'll sort out the rest.
Because I had so many people on and it was like, oh my God, everything's
so I had to email them like extra links and things like that. And I think you kept deleting things. I said, Sunny, don't delete things. You don't need to delete things. Leave it alone. Just switch it. Either the automation, switch it off, but do not delete the box. And she was like, oh no, I can't even. I went, no, you're going to have to set up a new one and let me email everybody and let me deal with it. Yeah. But you also found it overwhelming, didn't you, beforehand, when putting all the slides and stuff together?
Yeah, that was the toughest bit. That was the toughest bit, I think. Putting everything together in the beginning, all the graphics, the workbook, getting everything in order to make sure you've got it all. And it was like, oh my gosh, how many graphics do I need? Oh, I need some for Insta, I need some for Facebook, I need some for Eventbrite, I need some for
I mean, in your case as well, since you are teaching inside Canva, you need more kind of tactical, practical things than maybe someone that is just speaking like this, right? But the beauty is, like, we create it once and then we can use it over and over again. But I want to go back to what you talked a little bit about that with the tech issue, because a lot of people are scared that something might happen, right? And I kind of say to my audience that we run in person. So I run a big in-person event in Sweden every year, and it's outside and everything can go wrong. And I'm just like, the worst thing that can happen is that you get thrown out of Zoom. It's not worse than that. But so I come from a different kind of background. But if we look at you, do you feel like when you start your live or whatever that you're scared that the tech, or do you feel like, yeah, I'm good with it, the tech goes whatever, right?
Yeah, I'm very like, it's fine, I know how to sort it out. Okay.
I love tech. I work with tech majority of my life, and it was just so funny that when that happened, I was like, why now? Like, seriously, why now? I'm just about to go in like 15 minutes and it goes to pot now. And when he was like, oh, it's okay, I know what it is and I can email whatever, I'm like, but do you know what, at the end of the day, just go for it, because you can still send the replays out. Whatever happens, you can still,
as long as you press the record button.
Yeah, you can send the replays out, so it's no big deal.
Because I message her privately on there, because you can choose the host or everyone. So I'd go to the host and I said, remember to press the record button.
It's
or
little
remember
things.
Just to do this, and and then I'll give her some questions and things like that in case anybody's not responding. If they're very quiet, then I'll just say, oh, Sunny, just
go over
how do
this
you do
again,
this, and how do you do that, and how do you do that kind of thing. It says.
And that can actually be a good tip, like the way you do it, that you have someone that are there that is either a friend or it can be a co-host or whatever. It can be someone that is in the same program or course that kind of have your back.
Yeah.
If something kind of you get kicked out, they can write in the comment section, just stay on the Zoom, we are going to be right back and stuff, because I have been kicked out being the only one. And then of course people can start leaving, right? Yeah. But that is a kind of a good tip to have someone, because then you can have each other's back. Yeah. If something.
Because I remember on Nita's first one as well. Her, it was crackling when I was trying to listen to it. It was all crackling, and I was like saying to her, "Your mic is wrong. Something's not quite right with it."
So I had to then change it. And then there were times when it went wrong on the first one, I had to re-record without an audience, because it was just so bad I couldn't send it out. So I just sat there and recorded it and pretended I had an audience, and then I just sent the replay, and that was it. But luckily that was only, I think it was the the first day, I think it was, everything
time,
just
yeah.
went kaput. And I went, okay, then, well, this ain't going to happen. You know, so I carried on as normal. Then I stopped the recording, looked back at it, went, no, I'm not sending that out. And then I just did another recording, same information, another recording, saved it, sent it. And that was it. And then they clicked on it and didn't know any better. So,
love that you share these kind of things, because the thing is that sometimes we just hear the positive, that I went live, I closed so many clients, I did so much money, whatever, it was perfect, I looked perfect, whatever. But this is the real deal, right? Because tech can happen, we don't look our best every now and then, we have the microphone, this or whatever things that can happen. But I believe that is the beauty with the event in itself, because it shows that you are only human. You are not on a pedestal looking down on people. You are down here with them. And I think that is one of the key success to running live, especially live event, is that you can actually connect the way that you are. And I usually say that we all live in a circus. Don't pretend that we do not, because everyone does, right?
Yeah.
But I love that you are so willing to share these kind of things that didn't work out, because I think it's important to actually hear it's not going to be perfect, and that is kind of okay, right? Yeah. And I mean, I just wanted to kind of ask you what you feel is the strength. If you look at YouTube businesses, I would like to hear from both of you. What is the strength by using events to sell your offers, but also be in front of people?
Oh my goodness, you know, I think
well, obviously you get leads.
Yeah.
You get experience. You get to tell people your story. You get this connection with other people and the empathy. You also get them to understand it's not just them that's in this same boat. And even if you are in business, you know, you still go through the same stuff as other people. We're human at the end of the day. Also, like, you know,
we get seen like everywhere.
It's I mean, there are people like even locally know who we are. And the thing is, then when you're online as well, you can reach so many other people. And then you can get invited to different things. And everyone goes, oh yeah, I saw you on, you know, are you interested in X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
And I've been on a few podcasts now since doing the events. And they've been about decluttering, feng shui, law of attraction, you know, mindset, all that kind of stuff. And also, I was interviewed last week. A lady in Connecticut, Maria, she contacted me to talk about decluttering, feng shui, and spiritual wellness. And I was like, wow, this ties in so well with my event. So you get to then advertise your event. And then there was a guy in Cornwall. He found me on LinkedIn because I'm an author as well. I wrote a book and he found it. And he messaged me on LinkedIn and said, oh, can I put you on my podcast? You know, so it's a lot of reach. You get a lot of reach for being real.
Yeah.
You can call it kind of rings on the water, right? One thing leads kind of to another.
Yeah.
And in your case, Anita, do you feel like event in itself, because you show more tactical, do this and this is how you do that, and show in camera. Do you feel that is easier to do in an event compared to if you would have uploaded on a page or do post or whatever? Yeah.
I love it. I love the whole, right, I'm going to share my screen, everyone, you know, and it's like, and when things go wrong, like, you know, you go into a new feature like draw and you're trying to connect it so that it makes a circle, you know, and it doesn't work. And I have a laugh about it. And the people at Canva, they've been like, oh my God, Sunny, you're such a natural presenter in terms of like how you come across and, you know, how I put things in. And I make it a bit of a laugh, you know, it's not serious. It's like, look, things can go wrong when you're designing. It's okay. You know, even me at my caliber, whatever, you know, I can do things and they go wrong and they're not quite going to be 100%, but you can see it's live. You can see it's real. You can see it's in the everyday world, you know, and they're like, oh, right. And I have people going, oh my God, Sunny, you know, this is hilarious. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's a right laugh, isn't it? But you know, this is how it is. And
But
this
also, you were saying about what else we get? We get referrals. A lot of
Yeah,
referrals.
yeah, yeah.
Had so many people say, "Oh, I know somebody who does that, who can help you," and you know, they contact us, say, "Can we give, you know, your number?" We're like, "Yes, just do it. We're a business, just pass it on. It'd be great." And then we give them an incentive. So it's like if they do that, like Sunny, you have that, don't you? You got like, you know, if somebody refers you to refers somebody, they get 20% off the next treatment or whatever it is, and things like that. So that's really worked as well. So there's so many paths, routes, opportunities. People are missing out if they're not doing events.
But I love the
If we look at the bottom line, why this is happening is because they see you. It's not a page and it's not a picture. It's not a text where you read in your own state of mind. It's you speaking, you show up, you do the hand gesture, whatever. And I have noticed since I moved to Italy that I do way more like this, right? That I didn't do before. But people kind of join because they like you. They join because they love your vulnerability, your personality, the way you speak, the way you show up, the way you do things. And that affects other things where you get invited and you get referrals because they love you, that they would have never, ever come across if they would have read a post.
I had a lovely, sorry, Angela, I had a lovely email actually from one of the participants, and she went, "I absolutely love your energy." And that's why she was on every single day, because it was like the energy that was coming through the screen. It was like she was like, you know, eating it all up kind of thing, you know.
Like you were saying that, so because we've got testimonials. So I asked them for testimonials and they emailed me testimonials, and I was like, oh, brilliant, you know. And if anybody was struggling to get testimonials, I would say like give a bonus or something, give something extra for the
Great
as well, you know, things like that. So yeah,
that is a great tip, because testimonials can be hard. But I would say that testimonials from free events is still testimonials. Some people might think, yeah, but it was just a free workshop. It's still a testimonial. I mean, I screenshot all comments from everywhere that I put in a folder. We have massive amount of comments from people that came across us or that I never saw before, and they were just, oh, I've been to your last 3 events. This is the best thing that I have ever done, right? And it's all testimonials about you as a person, as a leader, as a teacher, even if they are not paying clients yet, right? Yeah. And it will always bring something in the future, like if we look long term. And I wanted to kind of end this with, there is a lot of people might looking at this and they are afraid of the tech issues, they're afraid of showing up, they are afraid to step out of their comfort zone, they might not done any kind of speaking gig. And I would love to at least hear one tip from each one of you to kind of overcome this, or what is your best tip for someone to push themselves out and actually do a webinar, masterclass, workshop, whatever they decide to do. Who would like to go first?
I would say, actually, you know what, go for it. Just do it. I think the more you hold back, the more you're never going to do it. The more you look like an idiot, the better, because we're being real. Yeah, you're being yourself, because you know people will pick up on your energy. You might find that they are attracted to the way you are, you know. But it's like, get out being change is growth at the end of the day, right? And it's like, just go and do it. There's nothing to lose. That's the thing. There is absolutely nothing to lose. There's everything to gain. So
that's the thing I always say as well. Think about what could go right, rather than what could go wrong, and think about how many people out there you are helping, because without you and what you do, you know,
they're suffering,
and you're missing out on their pain, because when it comes to pain, well, yeah, because at the end of the day, you can solve it. If you've got something and you can solve it, then you're onto something. And it may take 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, whatever, and you'll see them following you and you're doing whatever. They will at some point invest in you. So seriously, keep going, just keep going.
And I think what you said there instead of looking at, okay, I always say to people, don't think about what is the worst thing that can happen. Think about what is the best thing that can happen, right? And I think another important aspect that you talked about is to actually running the reps, right? And because it might not be perfect the first time. It's not going to be perfect the first time. It's not going to be perfect the second time. But it's important to keep showing up, because that is how people start like you, know you, and trust you. But also they become raving fans. And when people show up for your event over and over, they are raving fans, and they are going to refer you, even if they are not ready to become clients. Because if they show up, they want to learn from you, they want to become clients, but it might not be the right time. They might not have the money. There is a lot of reasons, right? But they will refer you to other people that will become clients, right? So I think those were amazing. And just like Sunita said, just do it. And if you haven't done a live before, just do a small live in a small Facebook group. Create your own Facebook group, invite two friends, and just go live and try it out, right?
Yeah.
And because as soon as you have pushed yourself out of the comfort zone, the easier it's going to be, right?
And it's more fun.
And have fun with it.
Yeah, I actually did a Whimsical Wednesday last week where I talked about ego versus intuition. And ego is your fear. And if you keep feeding your fear, you're not going to grow. You're not going to step out of the fear box. And you'll end up, not listening to really what you really want, and where your path is and where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to do. Yeah, so.
Yeah, and fear, we all start from a place of fear. And we need to kind of go out from fear and grow from fear, because as you said, if we stay in the state of in that state mindset, that fear, we are never going to grow. And there is no growth in staying comfortable, because nothing is going to happen. We're going to stay just the same and do the same. That didn't have worked up until now. So how will it work in the future? Somewhere we need to push ourselves out. And you both have events coming up, because this is going to stream inside of our Cold to Sold workshop. And first of all, if people want to contact you, is that best on your personal profiles here, or do you have a business page or anything that you want to push people to if they want to contact?
Contact me through Facebook, Sunita Johal, or our Crimson Cat page, which is Cats with a Z. So you've got that, and then you've got Anita and Marissa.
Yep. Anita and Marissa on Facebook. Be able to follow me on there, and also Crimson Cat page on Facebook too.
Yeah, so you have the same Facebook page.
Yes.
Perfect. So what we're going to do is below this video, we are going to, and above this video, we're going to share your social media links for your personal profiles and your business page. And also you have 2 workshops coming up, and it's 2 completely different workshops. So for anyone that are interested in joining both or one or the other, make sure that you click on the link and connect with Sunita and Anita, because I think this is important topic, both in 2 completely different ways, of course, when it comes to growth, business growth, right? So I want to thank you so much for wanting to join. Do you have anything, last words that you want to say to our audience that is listening?
Come join us. Yay!
I love that energy. And I want to just thank you, because it's important to hear all aspects and that you wanted to share. And when I asked you, I said, I want you to share all the ups, but also the downs, because I think it's not talked about enough what can actually maybe go wrong or mindset wise or whatever. And I want to thank you so much for being so open about all those kind of things. And I think a lot of people that are listening can kind of see themselves in you, right? That, okay, I ran one, it didn't work out, and I did this and tech, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But it's like you said, we are only human, right?
Exactly.
Thank you.
And
thank you. Yes.
Sorry, and anything that goes wrong, it'll be a distant memory, because when things go right, you won't be thinking about that. I totally forgot about it.
And I usually say that I wished I have said, but I had a computer meltdown, but I don't have my first webinar and my first 5-day workshop. I wish I had those. I was in a different niche, right? And I wish I had those, and I could look back and see how far that I have actually grown. And if if we haven't started somewhere, we wouldn't be where we are. And
Yeah.
everything we need to start, right?
Yeah.
And grow from there in all aspects of life, tech, whatever it is, right? So thank you so much. And I hope that everyone that are interested in what you do, need help with Canva or any kind of mindset work or those kind of things, connect with these amazing women. If you have any questions how my programs work, when was it that you joined? It's like 6 months ago.
January.
Yeah,
December?
so about
Yeah, it must be around there, I think.
somewhere around the beginning of the year, 2023.
Yeah.
And you have run now 3 events each and running the rep. So you can connect and ask any kind of question. So thank you so much for joining. So happy to have you here. And if you're watching this, we are in the middle of the Cold to Sold workshop, and we're going to have more trainings coming up. So make sure that you catch all the trainings and also the bonus sessions that is going to run throughout the weekend. So thank you so much for everyone
Thank
that
you,
has.
Angela.